It is another Monday, and welcome to this edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Dan Ramey. He's Aaron Glandon, a.k.a. Mr. Hand 2, who, by the way, had a birthday Friday.
Yes.
Did you and Mike celebrate? Did you have any birthday cake, anything like that while I was gone Friday?
We had a cake on the show, and I blew out the candles, and
Is that right?
someone jumped out of it. It was crazy.
Wow. It was like a bachelor party, too, at the same time.
Yeah.
Which is something you're probably going to have in August of next year.
Probably in the summer of next year, yeah.
Yeah, at some point in
Probably
time.
before August, though.
You think so?
Yeah. They do them earlier nowadays. They don't do them just the night before.
Gotcha. Because of the hangover.
Sure.
If you've seen the movies, you know what we're talking about there. Coming up here shortly, we'll take a look at what's making news for us. Also, sports, a lot of sports to recap from over the weekend and what's ahead, plus this date in history. But first, we want to start off with our forecast to let you know how to prepare for the work week. Cloud cover and mild today. Temperatures reach around 73. It'll be sunny and warmer for tomorrow with a high about 77. And rain Wednesday and Thursday. Cooler temperatures with highs only around 70 both days. But I think we can handle that. I think we've been weathered enough to be able to withstand the temperatures.
Yes.
Yeah. You were kind of cold Friday night, though, weren't you?
No, I was all right.
You're okay? Is that why you were shivering and you were talking to me?
My toes were a little cold.
Is that right?
Have you ever heard of Raynaud's disease?
I have not heard of that.
I think I have a mild form of that. My sister has it a lot worse than I do.
Is that right?
But in the winter months, when it gets cold, sometimes the blood will just completely run out of my fingers, and my fingers will just be as white as this piece of paper in front of us.
Really?
And I can't feel them, and it hurts, and it's not a pleasant experience.
So I imagine it happens to your toes as well.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure because I never see them because they're in socks and shoes. But
So you were built for warmer weather.
I was.
I see. So perhaps you'll live in native Mississippi one of these days.
No.
No? That's too far south.
I'm sorry, Grandma Joyce, but I don't want to live in Mississippi. One time when I was a kid, we were in Mississippi in the summer, and I was wearing flip-flops, and I stepped in a fire ant hill. I think I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
That was not fun.
Fire ants are no fun. Not at all. I've often wondered, I want to see this on, and never saw it with Pat Sajak. Maybe we'll see it with Ryan Seacrest. But on Wheel of Fortune, I'd like someone to at some point in time just say, yes, I'd like a crooked letter, please, as opposed to saying yes.
Right.
Because I always think of Mississippi with M-I, crooked letter I. I have yet to see that happen, though. So
You can be the one to do it.
I'll never be on a game show.
Why not?
Don't have any desire to do it. If I'm on a game show, I'll be hosting it.
Yeah. You'd be a good game show.
Because it would be a lot more fun giving the money away as opposed to participating.
I want to be on Jeopardy.
I have had classmates on Jeopardy. And God rest his soul, he passed away not long ago. Chip Bell was on there as well. In fact, Chip, on his Facebook page, his profile picture was he and Alex Trebek because Alex was the host when he was on the show.
Nice.
So, yeah.
I've seen a taping of Jeopardy, like live.
That's right.
But I want to be on the show.
And you said Johnny Gilbert is not in studio.
No, he's not present.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Gilbert's the announcer, by the way.
Right. And Ken Jennings wasn't hosting. It was what's her name from Big Bang Theory?
Ah, yeah. Amy Farrah.
That was when they were switching back and forth.
Amy Farrah Fowler.
Is that her name?
Her character's name.
Okay.
Malik Bykam or something like
Mayim, I think.
Mayim?
Yeah.
I never can remember how to say her name. But she's no longer participating as a host, right?
Right. They stuck with Ken Jennings.
They stuck with Ken Jennings, who we had on Dan and Mike in the morning on the radio at one point in time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
We're taking a long time to get to the news.
We are. It's as if we're putting it off. So I tell you what, we'll jump right into hearing from our sponsors, and we'll then come back with news. But first, we want to tell you about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. If you have an issue with any of these conditions in your home, they can remedy the issue, and you'll be pleased as punch. Click on this ad anywhere you see it on our website, littermedia.com. It takes you to their website, accuratehvac.com.
Our mobile banking app is changing the way we bank. Things are getting easier, transactions are getting safer, and you have access 24/7. All the functionality of banking you're used to, made easier to use, anywhere, anytime, and more secure than ever. Simple, seamless, safe. Download our Kingston National Bank mobility app today.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
For transportation options in Ross County, call Ross County Health District's Mobility Management Team, 740-779-9652. Haynes Total Health Care Center, they can take care of your issues chiropractically. If you've got an issue with nutrition, they can help you with that. Physical therapy, they're on the ball for that too. And in fact, you might be on an exercise ball as well. If you want to learn more about Haynes Total Health Care Center, click on this ad anywhere at littermedia.com, and it takes you to hayneshealth.com. While you're at our website, don't forget you can find all of our social media information right up in the upper right-hand corner. There's also a radio player on our website, littermedia.com. It takes you to Litter Media Radio. Two of Chillicothe's floodgates will have annual maintenance done this coming Wednesday, November 6th, with some lane closures to traffic. Now, the floodgate maintenance for High Street will take place between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. High Street will be open to traffic, but the lanes will be shifted during maintenance. Floodgate maintenance will also occur the same day for Main Street between 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. East Main Street at the floodgate will be open to traffic, but the lanes will be shifted during maintenance. You ever seen them do something like this?
Well, they do it every year, so I'm sure I have, but I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Well, they set up all the little walls that they slide in there,
right,
and creates that wall of protection from the swelling Scioto River. But it's not swollen that high that we would need to turn the floodgates and shut the floodgates for, years upon years. But you got to test them to make sure that they still work.
Because if you do need them and they don't work, that's no good.
Yes.
Tomorrow is Election Day, with in-person voting starting at 6:30 a.m. and polls remaining open until 7:30 p.m. So find your polling location and go do your civic duty if you haven't voted early.
Done so already, right?
I have not voted early. I need to vote tomorrow.
I voted, I think it was October 9th.
Oh, wow.
I already knew what I wanted to do, and in-person voting started on October 8th, so managed to do that. I think Mike does the absentee ballot. My wife did an absentee ballot, but I still like to have that I'm walking into the polls feel.
Yeah.
You know, you just don't always like to do it on Election Day, and I'm glad they make that as a good option for us. The Pickaway County Visitors Bureau for Tourism is partnering with Summit on Thursday, November 14th, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Guests will have an opportunity to connect with regional stakeholders and learn about the economic impacts of travel in Pickaway County. Speakers will share the residential growth rates in Pickaway County and ways to engage in developing communities. So this should be a nice tourism partner summit to experience.
Yes. At the Majestic Theatre coming up, the Eagles tribute band Out of Eden performs on November 8th, followed by the Hair Band Experience on November 9th.
Hair Band Experience. I like that. We'll be hearing more about the shows going on at the Majestic Theatre with Lori Graves, who will be joining us later this week in a special edition of Litter Media Live.
There we go.
Country rock royalty, Pure Prairie League. A Seminole outfit. Is that right? Seminole outfit?
Yes.
That's interesting. During the 70s and 80s, their movement brought mainstream success to country rock and southern rock genre. They continue to ride the revival wave with Back on Track, the group's first studio album in nearly 2 decades. Back on Track is to be released December 6th. Pure Prairie League Records takes the classic PPL sound and gives it a fresh spin. Throughout a dozen cuts, they hear a rejuvenated band that pays homage to its signature sound while still injecting the fresh sonic air. I like this. I don't know who wrote this, if Mike wrote it or if it sounds like Pure Prairie League.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like Mike.
Back on Track is simultaneously classic and contemporary. Looking forward to this. Visited with John David Call several times here in the last few years, and the guys are still around, still back at it. They were recognized by the Pike Heritage Museum here, I think it was sometime last year, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been earlier this year, for their fame. Pure Prairie League, when you pull into Waverly, you'll see on a sign, home of Pure Prairie League, and the whole deal. And you say you've never heard of the group?
Never heard of them.
Never heard of them, but you have heard the song Amy.
I have heard the song Amy.
And which was made famous by Pure Prairie League. Only went up to 27 on the charts, though. I was not aware of that.
Well, that's not too bad.
That is pretty good, but I was thinking it was higher than that. But it's been covered by Travis Tritt. Who else? The Eagles. I wonder if the Eagles tribute band will play it when they're here.
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be cool?
On November 8th at the Majestic Theatre out of Eaton.
We'll have to place that in their minds to see if they'll participate with that song. All right, coming up, we'll take a look at sports. There was a lot of it over the weekend we want to share for you. State tournament action for cross country and volleyball. We've got the Adena Warriors in action. Details all coming up. But first, Scioto Valley Dumpsters. Give them a call if you're in need of a dumpster for your business or your residence. 740-253-8389. Click on this ad at littermedia.com or wherever you see it. It takes you right to their Facebook page where you can learn more about what Scioto Valley Dumpsters does. Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
I'm a busy woman, and I'm not ready to slow down.
Tiffany's hip pain was interfering with her career and active lifestyle until she came to the Adena Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Dr. Meshbach told me about same-day surgery. I said, I want it now, and I wanted it yesterday.
After a successful procedure, Tiffany was home the very same day and on her way back to enjoying the community she calls home. At Adena, we do what we love, so you can too.
Big yards, small yards, hilly yards, silly yards. Every yard is unique, and every yard, no matter how much you love it, can be uniquely frustrating to mow. That's why Country Clipper is designed to tackle any obstacle imaginable. It's the perfect mower for even the most imperfect yard. Country Clipper, engineered for easy.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today. It is time for sports, and there is a lot of it, so let's get right to it, starting with cross country. Team state champions going to the Lancaster girls and Fairfield Union boys over the weekend. Marissa Heil placed third and Harper Allen 17th for the Lady Gales to be honored as all Ohioans. Lancaster girls CC state champ photo credit. Thank you at Lady Gales CC. Athens Sophia Solosi, I believe is how you say her name. She was the D2 girls individual champ. And boys state cross-country championships, Fairfield Union's Andrew Walton defended his state individual title, and teammates Nathan Phillips placing 8th and Christian Reindl placing 15th, as all three earn All-Ohio honors for the Falcons. Congratulations, kids.
The 24-3 Adena Volleyball's improbable 2024 success story continued on Saturday as the Warriors beat Wheelersburg to win the Division V Regional Championship and head to the Final Four at Wright State University's Nutter Center for the 11th time in school history. Corinne Day had 29 kills and 4 blocks, while Katie Burns added 21 kills and 4 blocks to lead the offense. Kimmy Dalton and J.C. Smith anchored the Warriors' defense with 32 and 19 digs, respectively. The Warriors face Mentor Lake Catholic at 6 p.m. on Thursday in the state semis.
I think Mentor Lake is number 1 in the state right now, too.
Oh, wow.
Another weekend volleyball action. Bloom Carroll fell in straight sets to Watterson in the Division III regional final, but Warren was a 3-1 winner over London and advances to the state in Division IV. Congratulations to the Warriors.
In Saturday girls regional soccer, Minford blanked Grandview Heights 1-0 for the D3 regional title. And in Sunday boys regional soccer finals, Chillicothe dropped a 4-2 shootout to DeSales in D3 after they were tied 1-1 after 2 overtimes.
Heartbreaker.
Yeah, really. Wheelersburg boys lost to River Valley 4-2 in D4, and Minford edged Grandview Heights 1-0 in OT and for the D5 finals in their first trip to the state Final Four.
Congratulations.
So the boys and girls Minford Grandview Heights games had the same score.
Mm-hmm. Several area high school volleyball players have been listed among all Ohioans voted upon by the Ohio High School Volleyball Coaches Association. Of the area players, first-team All-Ohio honors have gone to Katie Burns of Adena, Gracie Perkins of Wheelersburg, Christian Thompson of Fairfield Union, Evelyn Brown of Bloom Carroll, Ariana Buckley of Marietta, and several other players are also listed as second, third, and teams and honorable mention. For the full list of area players, check out our website story at littermedia.com.
All SVC football selections have Unyota leading the way with Matt Hoops Coach of the Year. Piketon's Buddy Wilson is the Back of the Year. Lineman of the Year is Evan Brower of Zane Trace. And Defensive Back of the Year is Caden Cutright of Unyota.
OSU made a big goal line stand and late in the game to beat Penn State 20-13, and they've moved up to number 3 in the AP rankings. Cleveland Browns offense, not what it was last week. They were shocked by the Chargers, as Mike says.
Good.
You like that?
Thank you, Mike.
Good use of words there. 27-10 the final, and the Bengals offense came to life. A 41-24 win over the Raiders. It was like 31-17 at some point in time.
But Joe Burrow's still not happy. I read this morning in the post game. He said, "What do I have to be happy about?" Mm-hmm. Even though he threw for, I think he had 5 touchdown passes on the day.
Can't be satisfied.
Nope.
Can't be satisfied. Because if you get satisfied with this, you may not be satisfied with what happens over the coming weeks.
Right.
And the Columbus Crew, they're not satisfied. They had their season close Sunday in a 5-4 shootout loss to the Red Bulls in match 2 of their Eastern Conference semis. I think it was a surprise that they lost in the first match. It was a 4-4 in regulation before Columbus lost in overtime in the shootout. Of course, remember last year they were hoisting the trophy, confetti flying and everything at Crew Stadium at that point in time. All right, that's a look at sports. You can see more and read more when you log on to our website. You can also see all the post-game responses on our YouTube channel from this past Friday night's Paint Valley loss. All 4 SVC football teams are out of the playoffs after week 1. We will have coverage Friday night of a ball game. We just haven't determined which one it is. I know who we're leaning towards, but we have yet to make that announcement. Hopefully we'll make the announcement for you tomorrow here on Litter Media. All right, coming up, this station history, and the Litter Media Wayback Machine is dialed up for 1924.
But first, Litter Quality Propane, online all the time. Customer payment, account information, and more. Log on at litterpropane.com.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Whenever Whenever I first applied for the ArchWiz opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
Are you looking for a beer that satisfies your thirst and love of country? Armed Forces Brewing Company brews beer for patriots. Celebrate freedom with every sip. Armed Forces Brewing Company. Freedom never tasted so good. This date in history, 1924. California voters pass a measure to legalize professional boxing, a sport outlawed in the state because of safety concerns since 1914. Manly art returns, reads a headline in one newspaper. From 1914 to 24, professional boxing had become a national phenomenon, spearheaded by champions such as heavyweight Jack Dempsey and lightweight Benny Leonard. We were talking just yesterday in our Sunday school class about Cassius Clay, and I was explaining to kids how in Muslim religion, when you convert, you get a full new name.
Right.
And I said, any of you know who Cassius Clay is?
I know who Cassius Clay is.
None of them knew who Cassius Clay is. Of course, 4 of my students are 18, and the rest of them are younger.
Right.
And I said, well, you've heard of Muhammad Ali. And oh, yeah, we know that name. I said, well, his real name, or his first legal name, was Cassius Clay.
Right.
Before his conversion. So we talked a little boxing in Sunday school class. And I know we could talk about the Apostle Paul, who was boxing with the air, fighting with himself. But that's about as far as we went with boxing yesterday.
I've never been one to watch boxing, but I love the Rocky movies, except for the 5th one. I don't love the 5th one.
The Rocky movies really aren't
an accurate portrayal of boxing.
Correct, yeah. And now I think the Apollo, is it Creed?
Yeah.
Just Creed series. Yeah. Those are a little more realistic. But the dramatics and kind of overacting, one might say, in the original Rocky movie.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know. There's going to be people arguing about that now. But his footwork was so alive in round 12 or whatever round it was, you just don't see that.
No. I mean, he got punched in the face 400 times and he was still.
That doesn't happen.
No,
they
it
stop
doesn't.
a fight before they let that go anymore. So, but I enjoyed the Rocky series.
Which one's your favorite?
Probably Rocky 2.
That one's my favorite.
I think I like it best.
I love Rocky 2.
Yeah. Clubber Lang, when he comes along, that's interesting. When here comes Drago.
Yeah.
I must break you. Another actor who's been on Dan and Mike.
You've told me about that one.
Yes. Speaking of Dolph Lundgren.
But you've never had Stallone?
Never had Stallone.
Or
the closest I ever got to having Stallone on was he was a guest on the Rush Limbaugh show one day. That's as close as we got. But he was on WBEX.
Right. No Carl Weathers?
No Carl Weathers. Another who we lost.
Yeah.
Carl's no longer with us. But he will always live as Apollo Creed.
Yes.
I think that's it for the program today.
I think it is.
We have a special edition coming up this afternoon at 1 o'clock. We're going to talk about the Help Me Grow program, and not just the program, but what's being done for the program through Calvary Lutheran Church. They've got a special that they're working together on. Tomorrow, let's see. I have my calendar set for 2025 because I was working on something for next year. Tomorrow, we will have a special guest at 9:30. Mr. Paul Pollard will grace our presence right here. And
too early.
Too early for you?
Yep.
Well, it fits in his schedule. So he said, sure, let's do it. We're going to talk about Rock for Tots, get our first look at Rock for Tots for 2024 with Paul Pollard tomorrow. So until then, enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thanks for watching Litter Media Live.